making so boots on the ground. Let's say you're getting these properties, and like you said, you're not the landlord per se, so you don't have the toilets and calls and all that crap. But there, that's on the lease owner. And but in terms of just, I don't know, do you have, let's say initially, like you put some GFIs, do minor stuff. Do you have like people in these cities like Gary and Macon that help you, or how's
Yes
that?
and no. So once you get enough properties in a certain area, you'll get kind of, we use handymen mostly.
Okay.
And sometimes we don't have anybody. And then
Okay.
that's where Sandy, my assistant, will go out and find somebody
Okay.
and to go do the work for us. And because we don't have a lot of work to do,
Hmm.
Macon's a little different because we own several.
Okay.
And so she's got a couple people over there that we do work with.
Hmm.
But really what happens is if I go into a strange new town and I'll look at anything, a city of 20,000 or more population, I don't want the city declining. If it's declined 1,000 over the last 10 years, I don't care. To me,
Okay.
that's not really declining. We obviously look, the other thing, we look for a Walmart in the area.
All right.
For a reason.
All right.
At that point, I'll look at buying. When we put it under contract, the first thing we're going to do is do what I call a pre-marketing ploy, where we actually put it out on Zillow and a couple other sites. We're trying to find out how much interest we're going to have, and we typically do it for a 3, 4, 5 day period. If we get good response, then we typically know that we're in a good rental area from all of our research that we've done. From there, then we'll go ahead and hire a home inspector, get a full inspection done on it. We get that back. As long as the major construction is all good on it, then we'll go ahead and close on it. And then during that closing period, we'll put it back up and market it. And about 75% of the time, we have it lease optioned out before we ever close at the closing table. And the option fee in our pocket.
Nice.
We have no downtime.
What are the closing times, your escrow times typically?
It really varies. If I get a good inspection back and it's with that, I will turn around and close as soon as I get title report because I'm buying it. So I want it as fast as I can.
Right. Right.
So it really varies. I'm looking at another one that right now, this one's in, they just handed it to me, Mansfield, Ohio. I'm analyzing that one. That is another one that we're looking at taking down.
Okay.
So it really varies, but it's this one here. It's empty. They use it as a rental. We just put it under contract today. And so I'm sitting here analyzing it to make sure it fits what I want. If it does, then I'll go ahead and order an inspection on it. I already know the city, so it's a big city, so I don't have a problem with that.
Right. Right.
Probably want to do a marketing ploy on it and then get an inspection and close on as fast as I can.
Nice.
And that typically we're using private money. So on this one, I mean, just give you an idea, this one's kind of crazy. This one here, I'm only paying $45,000 for this house.
Oh, wow.
And
it's the Midwest, huh?
Yeah. And it's, it's with that on conservative rents, they're saying about $963. It'll cash flow $323. But in reality, what I am being told, and after we do hard numbers on it, it's going to cash flow somewhere around $760.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's
so,
great.
I mean,
On a 45K purchase. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't even use my money to do that. I turn around and use private money to do it.
Right.
So it's just, it just worked very, very well.
So, and that was you were there's a couple of key things too I wanted to ask you on that. You just mentioned the private money. So when watching some of your videos, you were talking about transitioning to being the note holder, which would be ideal down the road. So what my question was, if you go private money, right, you get them set up, you have it, whatever structure you have with that private money or hard money, however, probably private money because it's more long term, right? 3 to 5 years, I think is what you've been saying, to have the lease option buyer in there. Once they're available, or excuse me, eligible to purchase or ready to buy, let's say 5 years down the road, you've still got that private money note on there. How do you convert that to where you're the note holder?
Mhm.
You pay off your guy.
So usually I don't pay off. Well, okay, let's back up. So usually I'll bring in private money. And then about every 6 months, I'll analyze my portfolio to see if I want to take that private money and do a DSCR loan. Do you know what those are?
Right, I do.
Okay. Do a DSCR loan, get my private money out, use my private money to go buy another property. Right now, I was supposed to have 13 of them happen in December. 3 of them ended up closing. My mortgage broker wasn't working fast enough, and all of a sudden the rates changed after election and so forth. So I'm holding off right now and just kind of play in the market, and because I don't have to do it.
Right.
My private money, though, I do a little different. So my private money, they know that they're into it for the long haul. They could be in it for 20, 30, 40 years. They get interest only payments. The principal is locked up with a deed of trust and a promissory note with the property. If it's a straight purchase, they're in first position. If it's a sub-2 wrap, they're in second position, but they're still in good loan to value terms. Okay. So they know that they're in it for a long haul. If I turn it into seller financing at the end, all I'm doing is wrapping my underlying note. I don't ever pay anything off. I'm just wrapping the underlying note. And if I have private money in there, I have in my note, it says that I can convert it to an amortized note at any time at the same interest rate. So then I just convert it over to an amortized. Yes, their payment goes up because now they're getting principal back also. And we pay it out accordingly. Obviously, that private note has to pay out before my seller finance note does. So we make it a lesser term or the same term, so it pays off the same time.
Same time.
I don't have to pay it off at the end. So.
It's a wrap. I got you. Okay, that makes sense. I was wondering that. Yeah. Okay. So that makes sense. You go private money, then let it season for a while, maybe 6 months with this DSCR requirements, maybe if it makes sense. And then that makes sense. And
the DSCR loan, or I wrap the private money. I don't care.
Yeah, either or. Okay, I see. Oh, and the other thing is, in terms of sourcing, I'll tell you, like the ones I mentioned, I did back in 06. The realtor I was working with, he found these off the MLS. I bought them, and there were pre-foreclosures. So what we did is we kept the existing homeowner in it, because it was basically help him get him on his feet. He got a chunk of money because he had equity. He got a chunk of money. He paid me a good chunk on the option fee, and we worked that out. Unfortunately, he got sick, and the other lady in Chandler, she didn't end up buying it, because their intentions was to buy it, rent it, lease it from me for a while, and then they were going to buy it back in a few years or something. So my question on that is that a viable source, these pre-foreclosures, and keeping them in there? Have you done anything like that? Okay.
My mentors told me never do that. I never have. And here's why. My mentor taught me that if you leave that owner in there, they still think it's their house and can do anything they want to, and they start taking advantage of you. So I've always taken, they have to get out. I don't have to leave them in there. I do a lot of pre-foreclosures, and we'll make up the arrears. And that's where I bring in private money to make up the arrears, pay the closing costs, keep the original mortgage in place, and just do the sub-2 wrap on it. And then my private money's in second position, but they're okay with that. And then we have the seller move out. Sometimes we'll put money in their pocket, sometimes we won't. Such as the one in Gary, Indiana. It's a sub-2 wrap. He didn't need any money, and so we didn't give him any. We're just taking over his underlying mortgage. Is all we're doing. And pay closing costs, and I'm done. So and I love those. And I also, the other one that I really like is seller financing, when you can get it at 0% interest, and whatever the term is to get it paid out. And usually on seller finance, you dictate what that payment's going to be because you need it to cash flow.
Right.
So that's an easy one, and especially with tired landlords and things like that. So usually a pretty easy sell.